Carl N. Footwear, you're welcome. Okay, yes.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Good morning or good afternoon. Let me see who else. So Jack, yeah, I've seen Jack. I've seen. Okay, excellent. I think we can start. Okay, let me start by addressing the questions that were asked in the group. Yes, so I said I'll start first of all by addressing the issues that have been raised in the group. So some people said that some of those questions, the first question is relating to the wingtip. The second one relates to the bow. Was there a third question? No, I don't think. I think those were the main questions. So now, Jack, I think it was Jack who helped me answer those questions in the group. Yes, you can do. This is actually my own shoe, right? So I finished my own, the shoe that I was working on. I've actually finished it. But of course, I started before you guys, so it's expected that I should finish. So now, this wingtip, I added it for design because that's specifically what my customer requested. Now, but because it's a beginner's class and I want you to be able to, do it without having any problems whatsoever. I said, don't worry yourself about the wingtip. Don't worry yourself about doing the wingtip. Just go ahead and do. So basically, what I'm expecting from you is close your eyes to the fact that you have this wingtip here. This wingtip. Close your eyes to it. Just do one straight loafer shoe, and that will be okay. Now, if you, however, want to do the wingtip, just follow the shape of your last. Just draw the wingtip anyhow you want. I will advise that you don't do it for this particular class. We are running very well on time. So if you guys submit your assignments by Tuesday, then hopefully by the time we get to the middle of the month, we probably will have been making serious headway with our class. So by the time that my friend Sam comes to take the class on moccasins, I will now, after he has taken this class on moccasins, I will use about 1 or 2 extra classes to explain some dimensions that you can use for your wingtips and bows. But basically, for the bow, if you want to add a bow to your own, I can tell you that immediately. All you need to do is, the bow is just about, use a ruler like this. A ruler like this, you can use the width of this ruler as the width of your bow. And then start it 1 cm, just 1 to half a cm. So you can add it 1 cm from that angle of this angle here that your tongue and your top line makes. So that angle that your distance and your top line makes, you can add it 1 cm before it or half a cm before it. That will be perfectly fine for the bow. So that will be perfectly fine for the bow. You don't have a problem there. So for each width, you can use the width of your ruler or 2 cm. That will be perfectly okay for the bow. So, but for the wingtip, I've already said follow the shape of the last. You can start the wingtip from 2 to 3 inches or 9 cm actually into your center line in front. Even though that's not what I did for this particular shoe, I actually made the wingtip way shorter in this class because that's exactly what the customer requested. Ordinarily, I'll start it about 6 to 9 cm inside of the center line. So, but I will demonstrate these things in graphic details when we have our supplementary. So you can see this. So let's assume that this is our, I don't know if it's very clear. So let's assume that this is your mean form. I said you part your wingtip between 6 to 9 cm from the tip of your on your center line. Remember, this tip is minus this 6 to 9 cm is minus your lasting allowance. So you're not starting it from the tip of your lasting allowance. You're starting it from the tip of the shoe itself between 6 to 9 cm. So from here, you can actually go and add your wingtip if that's what you are trying to do. So from this spot, which is between 6 to 9 cm, depending on what you want, even though I started my own around 3 cm. So my wingtip is actually very close to the tip of the shoe. But ordinarily, traditionally, you start it between 6 to 9 cm into, or 3 inches really, into the center line. So those are basically the things that I wanted to mention to you about the wingtip. and the bow. I've also told you that for the bow, that angle that your top line and your tongue line makes, just start it 1 to half a centimeter in between, and then use the width of your ruler as the width of the bow, and that will just be fine. So, any other questions? Anybody has any other question? Cow and footwear, crypto Jack. You have any other questions? Don't mind me that I'm wearing tie. I'm just coming from church.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I want to actually ask you a question. In the second video, where we use our main phone and the last copy, and
Yes.
where we removed the media and the lateral side of the tape after taping the last.
Yes.
I noticed something that the vamp line, while we were drawing, after drawing that center line, the
Yes.
vamp line, initially I had 4.5 inch. That is the top line. That line that divides the vamp line into two.
Okay, you have 4.5 when you divided the vamp line into two, yes?
Yes. But when I was
You
using
got the main form.
yes, when I got the main form, I discovered the distance now became shorter.
Okay, so what's the total distance this time?
It was like 4 cm.
Okay, so yeah, that's the whole point of a mean form.
Good,
you get
good. I initially why I'm even saying this is initially when I draw my patterns, I don't do mean form.
Yes.
But now I now understand why it is very necessary.
Excellent. Good. So let me see if I have the last. 1 second.
Then another question, another thing
hold
is
on.
this.
Hold on, let me finish explaining that. That is very important. You see this last that I have here?
Yes.
You see this last here, right? Now,
yes, sir.
Now, if you are going to work with if you are working with a last that is like this, and you work with the lateral side, you have a problem. Look at this last very well. The lateral side is so different from the medial side.
Exactly.
You get? So that's why you see some of those shoemakers, they'll start padding this place. They'll pad it until they disfigure the whole last.
Exactly. I've condemned one of my lasts like that before.
So you see many shoemakers that they'll tell you, that you cannot last this kind of last. That your lasting will never be okay. That's because they have always designed on their lateral side, and then hope that
the main form.
Hope that somehow this dimension you have here will just tally with this one. I've made Chelsea boots on this last, and it came out smooth. Wow. I've made Chelsea boots, which are some of the most difficult things to last. I've made them on this very, very funny looking last, and it came out exactly. And then if it comes out very well on this kind of last, it's interesting. That's how the designers of the last designed it, because it has a beautiful shape. And you can only solve that problem when you do your mean form. So yes, like you noticed, on your lateral side, your vamp line is reading 4.5 cm. By the time you drew the mean form and it starts reading 4 cm, it tells you that the medial side vamp line was probably reading about 3.5 cm.
Exactly. So that's true.
You understand? So what that mean form does, mean means average. It is the average
of the two sides.
You understand? So it has taken the too much that you have on one side and giving some to the one that you have a shortfall on. So that way, everybody is accommodated. So that if you are ever going to have problem when you are lasting, the stretch in your leather, the stretch in the leather can accommodate it. But when you have a whole 1 cm on one side shortfall, you find that you'll be pulling your leather and you have a big problem. So yes, it's important that you pointed that out. Thank you very much.
Then another question is, when you are working on a shoe with apron.
With what? Apron?
Yes.
Yes.
You still go the same format of making, after drawing this, you still go to make...
No. I've tried on some shoe. It depends on the last. There are some last that if I do this mean form, and some last that are very symmetrical, I do a mean form and design and do the apron. It comes out well. So shoes that have aprons usually present a unique problem. How I solve that problem is I create my mean form. Then I make this basic loafers pattern that I'm telling you people.
Okay.
I make it first. So there is no design in front of it. Then I last that pattern, that basic pattern, I last it with a test this thing on the shoe first of all, and then having lasted it, I now cut out the apron. I will draw the apron on top of it. So either I last it after I make the mean form and make the basic loafers, I can use all those craft paper. You know that paper, or even old newspaper. I'll use old newspaper to last upon the shoe, and then trace the apron on that newspaper, and now use that thing I cut out from the newspaper as my apron. You get?
I understand.
I have a video. In fact, there's a video on my channel that's called Asymmetrical Shoe Design. So it's the same process. Yes, it's the same process I used in that video. So what I did was I created my mean form. I made my basic loafers pattern on my mean form. Lasted that thing that I got on the shoe, and then now cut out the different pieces from what I lasted. So I used an old newspaper rather than use leather. I used an old newspaper to last the shoe, and then now cut out the pattern. My battery is low. Just give me a minute. Let me get my power bank. Okay, so yeah, I've plugged my power bank now. Okay, so did that explain it? So maybe now that you've mentioned it, I'll probably add apron loafers.
Okay, sir.
Apron loafers as one of the things we will talk about in our supplementary class. This class was basically meant to be on basic loafers, but I'll just add how you can do apron loafers, which is why this very basic loafers is important. Because once you have your basic loafers, you can add anything you want to add on it. In fact, if you want, you know, all these loafers that they make like what do they call them? Monk straps.
Yes,
Those loafers that they make to look like long, you can do that on the basic loafers. Anything you want to do, you can do it on the basic loafers. Mary, how are you? Happy Sunday.
Thank you.
Mary is one of our most up and how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Are you?
Very well, thank you. Okay, do you have any question? Did I address your question? The question you were asking?
Yes, but I came late. I was not there at the beginning to hear what you said. I came late.
I was telling them that this is my own own shoe. You can see that Jack, just leave it on me. Okay, yeah. You can see that this is my own wingtip.
Okay.
This is my own wingtip, right? And I said, don't worry about the wingtip. We will have another class where I'm saying this is my own loafers, right? So I'm saying don't worry yourself too much about the wingtip. Don't worry yourself about the bow. Just go ahead and do the basic loafer. So all you are doing is one pattern. Me, I had my wingtip, the main shoe itself, and the bow. So 3 patterns. But all you are doing is take this whole thing as one thing. So the only place, even when you watch the video on stitching, the only place you are going to stitch will be this back seam here. And that's it. So every other thing, just when we have our supplementary class on apron loafers, and then I probably will also address wingtips and bows. But basically, if you want to add a bow to your own, what I told them before you joined was that you can use the width of a ruler like this. So you can use this width for your bow, and then this width is probably about 2.5 cm. About 2.5 cm to 2 cm will be okay for your bow. And then as for where you should start it, you can start it from, you see this angle here that your top line and your tongue line makes. You can start 1 cm inwards or half a cm inwards. So if you start from, let's say this is the point. Let's say this is the point where this thing comes like this, starts here. This one comes like this and stops here. So you can start from here 1 cm to this point, you see, and then do your 2.5 cm and then go that way here. That's basically it. So Mary, I hope that answers your question. Hello, Mary, I hope that answers your question. Mary, you can unmute yourself now and reply.
Okay. I'm asking about the ruler. You said 2.5 cm. Is it 2.5 cm? The ruler is 2.5 cm.
2 to 2.5 cm.
Oh, okay. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So any other question?
No, I don't have any other question.
Excellent. Okay, so I hope to see the assignments by Tuesday.
Okay, sir.
All right then. So
Okay.
I have to go back to church by 3:00. So
Okay.
let me start running around. The good thing is that I think I was able to record this session, so we'll just post it in the class, and everybody can have the opportunity of. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let's do this again on maybe Wednesday. I'm not sure, but based on the assignments that we receive, see how that goes. All right then. Let's have a lovely evening. God bless you guys.
God bless you too, sir. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.